Matthew chapter 4. All right, Jesus getting tempted. Now, like I said earlier, when you get baptized, you accept Jesus Christ, what happens next? You get tempted. All right, when you're trying to live a Christian lifestyle, you're going to get tempted. No matter who you are, you're going to get tempted by so many things money, um, lifestyle with, women, all that stuff. Like, you're going to get tempted. All right, you're going to get tempted. Now, here we're going to talk about how to avoid that temptation. What do you do when you get tempted? All right. So, Jesus gets baptized, and now he's going to go into a wilderness. He's going to fast. So, he's not going to be eating for 40 days. And guess what? He's going to get tempted when he is weak. You will get tempted when you are weak, when your mind is not like you are just being weak. All right. So, let's see what Jesus does. Matthew chapter 4. Then Jesus was led up by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights afterwards, he was hungry. So he's feeling really weak. Now, when the tempter came to him, he said, "If you are the Son of God, command that these stones become bread." But he answered and said, "It is written." So first he's tempting on with, "Hey, eat." Right? He's trying to get him to do something like, "Hey, command these stones to become bread." But he answered and said, "It is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God." It's important to know God's word. All right. That's the most important thing. Know God's word. Verse 5. Then the devil took him up in the holy city, set him on the pinnacle of the temple, and said to him, "If you are the Son of God, throw yourself down, for it all right, for it is written, you shall give his angels charge over you." So the devil is telling him, "Hey, throw yourself. Like, you know, go up high and just throw yourself." That's what the devil is telling them. Now, is this common these days? It's extremely common, unfortunately. All right, it's very, very uncommon. Man, it's very sad. Um, I served in the military, and I hear, man, it's bad. All right, so he's saying, hey, just throw yourself. All right, he shall give his angels charge over you, and in their hands they shall bear you up, let you dash your foot against a stone. So it's like, hey, if you throw yourself off this cliff, like, hey, you're not gonna hurt yourself because it is said that the angels will come for you. Now he is misinterpreting God's word. All right. And Jesus said to him, "It is written again, you shall not tempt the Lord your God." So, man, that is huge. Hey, how's it going? Thank you very much for being on. So he's telling him, hey, it is written, do not tempt the Lord your God. So don't throw yourself. Again, the devil took him up on an exceedingly high mountain and showed him all the kingdom of the world and their glory. All right. So the devil's telling him, hey, look at all this. All this can be yours. All right. I will give you this whole kingdom, everything you want, pretty much riches. Now, is this common in today's generation? Yes. Hey, I will give you all this money if all you have to do is worship me. All right. So that's what's going on here. And showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their glory. And he said to him, all these things I will give you if you will fall down and worship me. The devil was asking Jesus to worship him for all this. Then Jesus said to him, away with you, Satan, for it is written, you shall worship the Lord your God, and him only you shall serve. So these temptations are very, very common. First is food, then it's hey, just throw yourself and God will save you. Don't tempt God. Third is, hey, for all these riches, only if you worship me. Hey, don't give up, your faith. Don't give up worshiping God for riches or for anything. All right. Worship God. Then the devil left him, and behold, angels came and ministered to him. So, hey, it's very important to know God's word. All right. Another big thing that I mentioned here was he's when he tempts him with food, he says, "It is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from mouth of God." That's why it's very important to know God's word. All right. Also, um, he says, "It is written, you shall not tempt the Lord your God." And also it says, "You shall worship the Lord your God, and Him only you shall serve." All right. So always keeping that in mind. We only worship God. That's it. Not the riches, not food, and not tempting God. You know. Here we go. Then it says, the devil left him, and behold, angels came and ministered to him. So that's how Jesus um, went through that. All right. That's how you avoid temptation. Hey, follow God. That's pretty much it. All right. Know God's word. And here we go. Only worship God. All right. Worship God. Do not like give that up. Here we go. Verse 12, chapter 4, verse 12. Now, when Jesus heard that John had been put in prison, he departed to Galilee. All right. So John the Baptist from chapter 3, he gets put into prison. All right. And leaving Nazareth, he came to dwell in Capernaum, which is by the sea, and the regions of Zebulun and Sephateli, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by Isaiah the prophet, saying, the land of Zebulun and the land of Nephtali, by the way of the sea beyond the Jordan, Galilee and Gentiles. So the main thing on chapter 4 is avoiding temptation. All right. So once again, how do you avoid temptation? Know God's word. Um, do not give up worshiping God. All right. God, you are to worship God. All right. Away, for it is written, you shall worship the Lord your God, and him only you shall serve. Do not give that up. All right. Do not give that up for anything, for riches, for anything. Do not give that up. Like, oh man, maybe I can, worship something else to get, money, a different spirit. Um, man, do not give that up. All right. Worship God. All right. Know God's word, worship God. No matter what is put in front of you. All right. It says here, the devil took him up an exceedingly high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their glory. So he got him like, for a normal person, it'll get you like very excited. Like, man, you can have all this. You can have all this. All you have to do is like not worship God. All right. All this to not worship God. There's a lot of industries these days that they're very sinful, and hey, they pay well. Doesn't mean they're doing well. Drug business, man, like stuff like that. It's like, hey, they pay well. They promise you a lot of things, but it's not living. You're living in complete sin, and it's dead. To be honest, um, showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their glory, and he said to him, all these things I will give you if you will fall down and worship me. All right. So what are other industries that, hey, they pay very well, but you're in sin and it's just bad living. All right. There's many industries. Um, man, I was actually looking through my YouTube a second ago, and another Christian made a interviewed somebody who was running a adult entertainment industry. All right. I didn't watch the interview, at least not yet, but I mean, we can pretty much see where that's gonna go, So that's, man, I'm sure he made good money, but hey, you're living dead in your heart. Like, you're living dead. All right. So it's very, very important not to give that up. Worship God, only God, know God's word. All right. Don't go in an industry where, hey, man, I make a lot of good money now. But I don't have time to read God's word. I don't have time to worship God. I don't have time for this. I don't have time for that. Because all I'm doing is working from, and it's sinful living, right? Um, killing, involves killing, involves drugs, it involves so much, sex, whatever. Like, these industries are tough, man. They'll pay you money, but hey, you got to give up God, right? They'll pay you good money, but you got to give up God. Was it trafficking? Man, dude, like, what is going on out there? Like, for real, what is going on out there? All for what? You have to live a life of that just for, have a car, just to have like, really? I mean, that's tough, man. That is tough. So, again, the devil took him up an exceedingly high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their glory. And he said to him, all these things I will give you if you will fall down and worship me. Man, dude, like, that's tough. Like, if you saw a lot of cars, a lot of houses, a lot of, like, you want, and you're like, man, I really want that. Like, what are you gonna do to for it? You know what I mean? Like, that is huge. Now it says, like I said, it says, for it is written, you shall worship the Lord your God, and him only you shall serve. All right. So that's, always keep that in mind. All right. Don't give up worshiping God. Don't give up knowing God's word. Don't give up following Jesus Christ for money, for glory, for a kingdom, for possessions. All right. So, hey, thank you for watching. Next, I'm gonna read chapter 5, which is one of my favorite chapters. Chapter 5 of Matthew is gonna be the Beatitudes, pretty much how to be blessed, like how to be blessed. And this is a sermon from Jesus Christ Himself. All right. Matthew chapter 5 is one of my favorite chapters. Man. All right. So I'm going to start that video in about 5 minutes or like a few minutes. All right. But Matthew chapter 5, I'll give you a sneak peek real quick. I got 4 people on. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. If you mourn, man, if you're going through a loss and you're mourning, like, hey, you shall be comforted. Hey, be in prayer, your heart. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. All right. If you are unselfish, pretty much. Man, but that's going to be chapter 5. All right. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to start video in about 5 minutes. All right.